What my question is, it seems to be similar to Cancel. I don't know if you're familiar with the product Cancel.
Yeah, I knew the software pretty well.
Okay.
And that did not work. That was his theory. And when it was proven over and over that Cancel did not work, his theory, which he told me in my presence with his own mouth, well, the Earth has shifted on the lunar node wobble, and I have to reformulate Cancel so it'll work like it used to. Now, Tom Bearden, my old buddy, believes in Cancel. When I was paralyzed in bed, this was 1989, I had nurses around the clock. I was told by the president of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who had made his first house call in 30 years because he knew me, that I would never walk again. I got Cancel from Soptic and the rest of the people, and it didn't do one damn thing for me at all. And when I challenged him on it, and Gloria Vivo, who was his New York representative, she gave me this long rigmarole about how the reason it didn't work was astrological. I thought, holy cow, this isn't going to pass a peer review. So I know about all of these things. I know about Gaston Masons and his ex. I know all of these people. It may have helped some people. Ed claimed that it was an electrolyte. It changed somehow. You know the story. I got deeply involved. I was grasping at straws. Nothing helped. This did. That's the bottom line. And we can name hundreds of things from shark cartilage. I asked the man that manufactures shark cartilage. He invented it. What's the difference between shark cartilage and Knox plain gelatin that you get in Ralph's? And he said about $100 a pound. Now get to know them and don't listen to their multi-level Ericksonian hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming where they hook these people into being zombies and to selling Mexican yam root instead of DHEA, which has no DHE precursor in it. These things are bullshit. They're garbage. They don't work. Ed wrote the book on oxygen therapies. He was telling... Well, Kurt Dunsbach took that up after he got together with Wally Groves in Minnesota and decided to try hydrogen peroxide, which will work to a degree. But Ed McCabe published a list of doctors in oxygen therapies, which was 17 years ago, the copyright. When I got on the telephone and called the doctor's Tang, T-A-N-G, in Reno, where he was saying we're curing AIDS patients right and left, and I said, tell me about this. I'm Dr. Beck, and we had some mutual friends, so they told me. We had not had one single cure. When I confronted Steve Herman, M.D., the radiologist, lived in Villa Park, only a few miles from me. His own son-in-law, Kenny, died. He and Jean's, his adopted son, his wife Jean's natural son, all died. He sent back his $17,000 Hansler unit and labeled it worthless. I know friends who bought Sander units. They're good units. They're $209, and they're the heart of these $3,000 and $4,000 devices with flow gauges. They do not work. It's a marvelous idea, but act up and keep hope alive. And these people, I know them personally, and they're extolling ozone by insufflation, by blood bubbling, by all of these methods. They're using legally in Germany, France, Canada, England, not Canada. And they do not work. I'm sorry. So go to the, if you want to know what red is, go down to the fire engine where they park them, open the door and look at the fire truck. And quit talking about 630 degrees nanometers, how many angstroms it is. Go look at a red fire truck and then you can't mistake it. So go to the people who are using these things and ask them about them. Ask if they can show you a stack of cures. They can. And this breaks my heart. There are no simple methods except blood electrification that I know about at this time. Yes?
Can you tell me exactly why silver colloid works? What chemically is going on that kills all these diseases?
According to the studies at UCLA, which I think are in the bibliography, the silver colloid, most of the bad guys are anaerobic. That means anaerobic. That means they live without the presence of oxygen. botulism, etc., cancer, those pathogens. It interrupts the respiration cycle, the CO2, other cycles, and they just die. And you can prove this with petri dishes, petri, whatever you choose to call it, and cultures, and put a drop of colloid in the middle. It kills 650 known diseases. Penicillin used to kill 8, but those have become strain resistant. You go to a hospital, you get an iatrogenic disease. About 400,000 people a year die because they've been to hospitals and picked up a strain of staph or strep, which are toxic to them, and there are no known antibiotics, none of them, but they drip it all day. Yes, go ahead.
You also said that several vitamins, I think you mentioned vitamin A.
Vitamin A is toxic in large doses.
A lot of things that are in normal everyday food got several vitamins and minerals that you mentioned as toxic. What are supposed to eat?
If you're dying of AIDS and the candle is burning very dimly in you, you have to detox for 2 weeks. Just take simple foods, rice, beans, meat. We won't allow vegetarians on any of these studies because we want the studies to look good. They're not getting enough protein. Yeah, they're not getting enough animal protein in the 23 essential, well, mostly essential amino acids. And vegetarians think they're holier than thou and they're doing something that's healthful. And they're not. And so all of our people that are on the free studies that I'm funding are not vegans or vegetarians, and they get their, without buying hundreds of dollars a month worth of amino acids from Bragg or American Biologicals or Royal Lee, they get it out of the meat and the chicken and the Pacific salmon. Never eat Atlantic, it's full of mercury. We'll go into that, but we got another thing. We got to close here in a few minutes. Let's get a few questions in here. Yes, sir.
Do you have a way that researchers and writers can contact you? I know some people who would do a story in a large paper.
My attorneys say to avoid this, avoid the internet. You're just getting yourself as a target. The FDA is using the internet. They have indictments against a woman who was selling Hulda Clark's book, The Cure for All Cancers, The Cure for HIV. Everybody who gets on the internet with any medical advice has them come to the door with drawn guns. I will never appear in a major publication. I only appear in the undergrounds like Roy of Hollywood. I love the guy. KPFK, I've been on about 4 or 5 times. They love me. Art Bell had Wayne Green on this. He got 10,000 letters. What are you going to do if 10,000 letters descend on you? Do you have time to read those and answer them? I don't. I don't want it. I don't want any major publicity. The mafia will be right after the FDA, and they'll be right after the pharmaceutical. You see the problem. I'm telling the truth. And a man who tells the truth needs a very fast horse. Questions? Goody. We're all done. You've been an incredible audience. Take these phone numbers off the bulletin board. If you want to get a hold of me and simply have to, call James Stillwell, and that's 714-972-0935, and it's on the blackboard. Take over.
Once again, thank you very much for coming out this evening. I know it's wet, very cold. Please drive safely, and please, again, watch where you step on the way out. There are wires and cables, a few things running around the auditorium. And if you could put some of your chairs back in the corner, that would really help out. I wish to thank all the people that helped put this thing together. And take care, folks. Again, please do not rush the tables, if you will. There are phone numbers on the board if you need more further information. Also, Dr. Beck has been kind enough to provide me with his material, which will be here on campus in the library under my name, Mark with the funny pants. So if you need a copy for later, it will be under my name, and it will be reference only for library use for you to read or research on your own. Take care. Thank you very much for coming, and hopefully in the future we can provide you more.